When I was in my early 20s, I noticed something about myself that I didn't fully understand back then, but it makes sense now. Every time I tried to do something important, something that actually mattered to my future, like doing exams or certifications and all those things, I felt heavier the moment people knew about it. Not because they were bad people or not because they wished me harm, but just because the pressure changed. I will give you a real example about myself. When I prepared for some of my toughest certification exams, like doing CFAs or FRMs or PMPs and so many of other exams that I did, I didn't tell anyone. Not friends, not relatives, not colleagues, no one. People found out only after the results was out. The results were out, at that time they found out. At the time it wasn't some strategy that I did, it was just instinct for me. I just knew that if people knew, my mind would stop working the same way. Because once people know, the questions start, right? How is the preparation going? When is the exam? You are doing this along with your work? Oh, the exam is tough. I know someone who cleared it. Oh, I know someone who cleared it in the first attempt. Oh, someone has tried it for 5 times and he has not cleared it. Oh, I know someone, he said that this certification is a waste of time. Someone saying, I cleared the exam and nothing helped in his career. And so many, right? None of this is malicious in a way, but every single question adds weight on us. And when you're already working all day, studying at night, managing finances, managing life, that extra weight matters. It matters. I learned this the hard way, a real hard way. Earlier in my career, during college and my early jobs, everyone knew everything about my career. Marks, results, interviews, outcomes, what is happening, where I am failing, everything they knew. If something didn't work, it wasn't just my disappointment. It became public disappointment. Like I didn't clear my IIT exam when I was in my 12th. It was a public disappointment for everyone. Later, I realized something very simple here. Silence is not hiding. Silence is protection. Protection. When you are building something fragile, early confidence is fragile too. I noticed the same pattern when I moved to the United States. I didn't announce it anywhere. I didn't make noise about it. I didn't tell 10 people and wait for their validation. Because deep down I knew something, that if things didn't work out, the same people who had no role in the effort would suddenly have opinions about the outcome, right? They would come back and say, we already told you United States is not good. We already told you that is not good for you. We already told you are not good enough for United States. You are not good enough to be, going ahead in your life and working for big companies and leadership roles. We already told you. Even though they had not done any of it, but they would have all that to say. And I didn't want that noise while I was still figuring things out, right? This applies to careers. This applies to studies. This applies to business ideas. This applies to personal goals. Like so many things. When you talk too early, you accidentally recruit those spectators into a journey that needs very few participants, honestly. And here's the part many people actually miss. Even I had missed it. Pressure doesn't always come from failure. Pressure doesn't always come from failure. Pressure often comes from expectations. And that expectations come from all these spectators. Once people know, you feel like you owe them that progress. You feel like you owe them those updates. You feel like you owe them success. That's exhausting. That's exhausting. I have seen people quit halfway, not because the goal was impossible, but because carrying someone's awareness became unbearable for them. Unbearable for them. And there's another subtle problem here. When you talk too early, you start getting feedback before the results exist. Advice before clarity, opinions before experience, and doubts before momentum. That can completely derail the execution. Now let me be very clear about something. This is not about isolating yourself. This is not about avoiding mentors. This is not about rejecting help. There's a difference between selective sharing and broadcasting. If you need guidance, you choose the right one or two people or a few more, people who understand the path, people who have done it, people who actually help. In my case, I always have few of my family friends who I always tell. There are a few mentors whom I always used to tell what I am doing. What you don't need is 10 casual observers commenting on something they have never attempted. And I have learned this over the years. The less I spoke during execution, the calmer my mind stayed. The calmer my mind stayed, the better my focus became. The better my focus became, the more likely I was to finish. And once the results existed, sharing became very easy for me. Very easy for me. Because at that point, opinions don't matter anymore to me, right? You have already done the work. You have already done the work. And I have noticed something very interesting now that I am on the other side. People message me asking questions about careers and exams and transitions. And I can tell immediately who is serious about it and who is not. Just from the instinct I get that they are serious or not. Not the ones who say just saying hi, but the ones who explain what they are working on and ask a specific question at that moment. That's the right order. That's the right order that we are looking at. Work is first and the noise is later. I have seen this even now in my career. I always try to have this phenomena in which I'm trying to do something, but I'm not sharing it with everyone. I'm not sharing it. I only select few people are there with whom I'm sharing. That has reduced my burden to a huge extent. If you are in your 20s or early 30s, doing something that actually matters, studying, switching careers, building a skill, preparing for an exam, let me say this very clearly here. Let me say this very clearly. You don't owe anyone a preview of your future. You don't owe that. You owe yourself a fair chance to execute without unnecessary pressure. Without unnecessary pressure. Some journeys need encouragement. Others need silence. If you have ever felt more anxious after, telling people your plans, pay attention to that feeling. Pay attention to that feeling because it's not a weakness. It's not a weakness. It's awareness. I want you to remember this going forward because I have gone through that stage before. And there was nobody to raise that awareness for me. I want to share that with you. Not everything needs to be announced. Not required. Not every effort needs an audience. Not every plan needs approval. Finish first, talk later. A great mantra that I have used and it has really helped me in my career. And if this perspective connects with where you are right now, just keep it in mind. The next time you start something important, sometimes silence is not avoidance. It's a strategy. It's a strategy.